Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with another Star Citizen video. If you're new channel, welcome. Today we're going to be checking out another Morphologis video, so shout out and credit goes to Morphologis. And this time he's not going to be reviewing a ship or anything like that. He's going to actually be reviewing a feature that is in Star Citizen, racing. So Star Citizen's most underrated new feature, racing. Now, I've already seen racing a little bit on Star Citizen, like the Mirai Fury. And also I did see on racing the Inside Star Citizen video, which was really cool, and I really like how the developers and the team that like worked on it kept on like competing against one another and kept on like sharing their opinions, who's the best racer and who isn't. So it was really cool to see, and I'm really excited to see hear Morphologis' review on racing. So without anything else, let's just jump right into it.
Pulling white-knuckle, butt-clenching 10G hard turns through buildings close enough to scrape the paint off my space hot rod is the kind of experience I thought I'd never get outside of a good science fiction flick. But it's something that happens every single day for members of Star Citizen's very own homegrown racing community, XGR. And it's they and those like them that we have to thank for inspiring 318's most criminally underrated new feature, racing. Which isn't just a cool set of new locations, but an actual honest-to-Chris gameplay loop complete with 7 new,
this looks so much
progressively
fun.
more difficult tracks unlocked through the reputation system. And so in a moment, I'm going to take you through a comprehensive overview to explain exactly why it's a feature that you simply are not going to want to miss. And if by the end you think I did a good job and deserve it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to show your support. Just like you could also support me through checking out the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN.
There we
they
go.
Now the Taiwan channel, your plan, money back guarantee.
All right, let's get into it.
For all of Star Citizen's development woes and delays, the game has, from the nearly very start, aimed to deliver an exciting flight experience, and I would argue very well has. After all, CIG knows just as well as any other development company that spaceships are the cornerstone of any self-respecting space game. And that's why one of the first things they did for backers is create a mode called Arena Commander, which included racing back in 2014. Since then, the flight model, though, has seen some improvements and changes to what we have today, which has enabled popular creators like Tarada to create incredible low-flying montages like this. Sadly, though, while the flight model has improved and evolved over the years, the Arena Commander racing mode never really did. In fact, it's pretty much the same as it was back in the day, and as a result, the racing communities that started back in 2014 are all but gone. Thankfully, though, in recent years, the racing community has seen a bit of a resurgence, and that's probably thanks in no small part to the founding of the Extreme G racing community by well-known Elite Dangerous refugees Osashis and Black Maze. Actually, I've known about Black Maze for as long as I've probably been on YouTube. He was a fellow space engineer.
And I really like how every single place is unique in its own way. You got like nighttime, you have, looks like a desert, looks like the cold, looks like kind of like a space, and the one on the top right kind of looks like a asteroid, so maybe like going through an asteroid field. So I really like that. Every single location is unique in its own way.
Content creator way back in the day when I was, but it might not
actually be that
fair to call the XGR community a community, as they've put forward a Herculean effort to create a cohesive, engaging community of racing enthusiasts that resemble more a real-world official league than anything else. They've created a website that keeps track of members and helps them keep up to date with the latest XPG League-created tracks, complete with verified times from the game's best pilots. This is actually a recording of Shacknew's own race on the Snake Pit which he currently holds the world record for. Seeing some of these top guys run these tracks is just insane. The community also hosts regular league events that they cover on Twitch and YouTube, where competitors race not just for bragging rights, but for rewards like ships and even a physical trophy for their yearly Stanton Cup. Naturally then, this eventually got the attention of the developers of Star Citizen over at Cloud Imperium
Those
Games,
were really cool
who
trophies.
have, in my opinion, rightly recognized the value in such well-organized community-run events and have made an effort to support it by working closely with XGR to make their tracks officially a part of the Star Citizen universe. It started back in 3.17, where it took the form of an experimental track called the Snake Pit, but now has expanded into a series of 7 progressively more difficult tracks crafted by CIG's EUPU, Sandbox One, and MTL teams. Thanks guys, you're doing a really good job. Those tracks are the Lorville Outskirts, the Icebreaker, the Kaplan Circuit, the Skyscraper, aka the XGR Club Track, the Snake Pit, Yadar Valley, and Miner's Lament. I'll take you guys through each of them in a little bit and let you know what they're like. As I also alluded to though at the beginning of this video, it's more than just locations in 3.18. The update also brings in the introduction of racing missions, each of which has a series of 4 times ranked from bronze to platinum in order of difficulty for racers to master.
Nice,
Each
so there's
track is
contracts
unlocked through
for those
setting
too.
better times and gaining reputation with a new in-game race organization. If you want to compete yourself in-game, all you need to do is check your mission manager for the racing tab and find the first mission that's available. Once you find it and accept the mission, it's going to take you to a starting location where you'll have to wait for a 10-second countdown, after which you're going to have to punch the accelerator to get through a series of timed waypoints that lead to a full lap where you'll be measured against 4 ranked times. Each placement yields greater UEC returns and reputation gain, which can be counted towards unlocking the next circuit. However, even if you don't place highly because you're just in a starter ship, don't sweat it. You can still head on over to the XGR community Discord and post your best times to compete against others flying the same ship class. And they even have some competitions where everybody needs to fly them in order to compete. So don't worry if that's what you're starting off with. I mean, I've even seen people run these tracks now with like a 600i. Here's Jim the Ninja from the Armco community doing just that. He didn't finish though. He hit the ground.
Oh.
It's also worth mentioning that the top ship for many of these tracks is the P-52 Merlin,
This
which
is actually
available
P-72.
for 135,000 AUEC in-game. You can earn that in like a couple of hours, so if you really want to get a top-tier racing ship, it's pretty accessible. Only problem is you need something to transport it, as it doesn't have a quantum drive. Other racing ships like the one featured in this video are unfortunately unavailable for purchase on the website outside of major sales. However, you can find them in-game for quite a bit more money if you save up. Now, if you want to learn how to get better, you should definitely head on over to XGR, where you can learn from experts who just race all the time. But my novice opinion is that you should take it slow on your first pass. Set your speed limiter to below the red line so that you can make sure you can have full control in the turns. If you try going for it right away, you're very likely to hit a wall, and well, nobody wants to spend another 20 minutes just getting back to where they were before, so run it slow. That's
Start
really
off
the best
slow
advice.
and then build
But
your
if
way
you're
up.
ready to learn more, you can also sign up for some lessons over at XGR's community, so like I said, check the Discord down below. But what about the racetracks? Which one is the hardest, and where should you start if you're brand new to racing? Well, when 3.18 goes live, that choice will be made for you, as they're going to put the easiest track as the first one you unlock, with each progressive one being more difficult. But as that's not yet decided at the time of the making of this video, I decided to sit down with some racers from the XGR community, as they're more experienced than me, to discuss which ones they thought were the least and most challenging. Special thanks to Dirk and Scuttle from XGR for being willing to help me film and talk to me about this topic. So let's begin with number 7, the least challenging of the lot, the Lorville Outskirts.
Oh, so this is the most challenging one.
It's located just next to the Lorville landing zone. It's a great location for new players who are likely to die multiple times learning the ropes of this one.
I think this was the location that was shown many times on the Inside Star Citizen racing video, because I do remember like those canyon rocks, rock walls, or whatever you call them, many times. And then there was that one location where there was a lot of snow as well. Those were like the 2 locations that was shown the most. So I guess this is it.
winding track. Waypoints take you
Oh, I mean,
around a
this is one
series
of
of
them, I mean.
hairpin turns and meandering chicanes through cranes and rock formations that ends in a straightaway right before one last 90-degree turn to the finish. Overall, it's a solid and entertaining track, with just enough narrow hazards to give you a taste of what it's like at the higher skill levels. My current personal best, and I'm no expert here, is a 135 set in my Misc Razor. Next is the Icebreaker, which is located
was it
on
the Snake Pit?
Microtex
I don't
Moon
remember.
Euterpe, around a sprawling facility. It features a few sharp turns, but includes a lot of ground-scraping chicanes and decreasing radius turns that can really get your blood pumping. I recommend that you fly this one in the day though, and with the canopy down if possible, as storms here can make visibility go to
Yeah, I was about
near
to
zero.
say, you can't see
Personally,
anything.
This is one of my favorites, and I want to go back to it to set some better times, but my current best is a 136.3 with again my Misc racing ship, the Razor. Next up, we've got the Kaplan Circuit, which is located just next to Orson's spaceport.
Oh, it's a Crusader
which makes it
location.
A little
Crusader
bit more
Industries.
forgiving in terms of respawning than Icebreaker, but there are still a few points along this course that require a little bit more skill to navigate, like the tight slaloms below the main structure, sharp turns between narrow containers, and a series of tight chicanes and 90-degree turns near the end of the first straightaway that takes you along the top length of the construction facility. Novices will find themselves likely overshooting a lot of these checkpoints or even hitting buttresses if they're not careful to watch out for them, so my advice is to take this one slow as well. I was able to set a time of 2:25 here in my P52.
Oh, so it looks like this one's a bit more difficult.
Skyscraper or club track known over at XGR is a pretty cool looking track. It's set on the city planet of ArcCorp, and it's
Looks like
just
Coruscant.
a short flight from Area 18. It's also then a little forgiving for new racers, but don't let that fool you. This track features a couple of really tight to thread through turns, with one very lovingly named the Great Filter for its very sharp vertical chicane that requires you to go
there goes the
inverted
ship.
to hit it at top speed. In fact, all of the waypoints on this track are probably the game's most narrow, and so it still requires a very careful hand when navigating. I was able to set a 1:11.26 here in my Razor after a few unsuccessful tries. Next is the Snake Pit, located on the Microtech moon of Clio. The Snake Pit was the first track introduced physically into Star Citizen as of last year in 3.17. It stands as one of the most challenging tracks on this list due to it being relatively small next to other tracks. It's got a lot of sharp hairpin turns that take you just meters from overhanging cranes and mining equipment. My advice is to run this one slow at first and build up your confidence. Don't get overconfident though, because one slip up will have you resetting. I was finally able to set a 1:03 here in my Misc Razor, which is actually quite a bit slower than the best times in the world. Next is the Yadar Valley Circuit, located on the beloved moon of Crusader, Daymar. Yadar Valley is set in a Tatooine-esque sand wasteland, and its track is similar to that of the Snake Pit, in that it has a lot of tight hairpin turns, but the most difficult areas are a series of deceptively tight chicanes that have you slamming into a cliffside if you're not careful. There's also a tight inverted turn after a long straightaway that follows with a series of tight chicanes that end in a hairpin.
Whoa,
that
dude,
really
that is
mess
crazy.
players up. The stakes here will have you spending quite a few minutes getting back to this location, so caution more than anything else is advised here while you build confidence. I was able to set a 119.81 here in my Razor after quite a few tries. This is probably my favorite track next to the Icebreaker, so I'll probably be revisiting this quite a bit more in the future to try to set some better times.
Nice. All right, Miner's
Last
Lament.
but not least though, we arrive at the most difficult track on this list, and that's Miner's Lament. This
Yeah, it
track
looks
is located
difficult.
around 130 kilometers away from the favorite home of pirates, Grim Hex, which orbits in an asteroid belt above the Crusader moon of Yela. This track gets the top spot for most difficult for being located in a vacuum. While most of the turns here are relatively wide and easily navigable by less experienced pilots, the lack of atmosphere will have novices often overshooting turns or slamming into debris, stations, or rocks that are scattered about the area if they're not paying attention. Worse yet, the higher speeds mean a higher chance of blacking out in turns,
dude, the
which
sun making it
often
difficult.
leads to the death of the pilot. And so you're going to have to be really careful when making high G turns. Still, it's one of the most beautiful locations in Stanton when the sun rises on either side of Yela. It's a breathtaking circuit that will challenge even the most experienced racers, not even to mention the likelihood of being attacked by nearby player pirates and NPCs. I was able to set a time of 2:53.16 in my Razor after quite a few tries and deaths. There's this big debris with this center opening that you can fly through, which proves pretty challenging at high speed, so watch out for that one.
I mean, I don't know how long these races are, but 2 minutes and 53, that's more than twice like his usual times he's been showing in the other tracks. But then again, if it's the same length, then it shows how difficult it is.
Overall then, this new racing gameplay loop has got me really excited for 318 Live. It's given me another solid reason to pop back into the universe so I can get better times than I had before. CIG really hit it home with this one, and I'm eager to see what they do to fill this feature out in the future. In my opinion, I'd like to see a few things come in the next iteration of this, like adding spawn points and ship terminals near the racetracks to make it a little easier for players to get back into the action, the addition of some clearer UI element gates so that you know where you need to go and the direction you need to fly, a ranking system that's recorded automatically in-game so you can see what your times are like next to your friends, and even some rep rewards like racing ships and paints at the higher levels to really get us motivated to rank up. Maybe some of those rewards could be extra special if you place platinum for all 7 of the tracks, like a skin that says Pro Stanton Racer or something. It also seems a prime location to introduce some actual flight suits that help players stop from blacking out. But there you have it, 7 tracks ranked in difficulty for you to master around the Stanton system, as well as how you can get started. I was able to eke out a full platinum tour myself, and I'm eager to get back in there to set some more times so that I can actually get onto some world rankings. But what are your best times? Let me know down below if you've set something better than me. I'm sure you have, because I'm not that great, but I still want to see what kind of times you guys are putting out. I also want to give a special thanks to Black Maze from the XGR community for helping me fill in some of the gaps here on learning about XGR, and Dirk and Scuttle from the XGR community who were very generous in helping me film some of the sexy racing shots you saw in this video. And also, of course, my own Armco communities, Jim the Ninja, Ishtaunt, and Fordsworth, and everybody else from the community who's helped make this video possible. Be sure then to check out XGR's community down below in the description, as well as my own.
I might actually check that out because it looks amazing.
For anything in Star Citizen, or just you want to find a cool group of friends who like playing the game. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.
All right, so that was a really great video. I really like this one because, I mean, so far we've just been seeing, you know, ship reviews and just shooting and combat, but to see something else like racing, and it looks amazing and a lot of fun, and those trophies look amazing too. So it is really cool to see a new feature in Star Citizen, and it really does catch my attention. I mean, a lot of you guys have been asking me if I'm going to be playing Star Citizen. I really don't know. I may be checking it out or trying during Christmas when I have more time. But as for right now, there's just not really much time. So that's why. But either way, racing is one feature that is on my list if I happen to like hop into Star Citizen. But anyways, that's all I got today. And Morphologis did a really great job. And you could really hear that he really enjoys the racing. Because with the times, and he says I'm going to be coming up back here a few more times, so it really looks like this is one of his favorite features on Star Citizen. But anyways, that's all I got for today, so thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for tuning in, I really do appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video, and also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing, you guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going, so I really do appreciate it. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.